Good day and welcome. Welcome to October of 2020. I woke up this morning feeling called to do a distillation. And a distillation of Willow is what I've brought today. I guess I'm wanting to, Willow was speaking to me about being very flexible and being able to handle change with ease and with grace. Even in a time of chaos. And that spoke so profoundly to me with what is happening right now in our world and what I'm feeling even resonating inside my body. My knees have actually been really uncomfortable and some strange pains, and I know that it's more of a spiritual and a metaphysical shift than an actual body problem. And after seeing a massage therapist that I see regularly the other day, and she echoed that indeed she was feeling that herself, and she was also seeing it in many of her clients, which is usually an indication of what we're all processing right now. I've shared this with quite a few people in the last day or so, just by chatting online or on the phone, and we're all in this. How do we embody all this chaos, and how do we remain flexible? Or how do we find flexibility in order to survive, in order to change, and in order to blossom into whatever's coming, and we don't even know what that is. So I'm going to invite you on this journey. I'm just showing you what I'm setting up. I'm going to do this in a few pieces of video because I think that that'll be easier. So this will be part one. I picked Willow this morning. I went to a park where there's a beautiful labyrinth where willow grows on the side of a pond, and I visit it very regularly. That was the willow that I thought would be best. Today, where I live, I woke up to snow, and so I'm actually going to use snow, like the first breath of snow, the first breath of a shift into a new, quiet, and long season for us here that some of us are looking at with trepidation with what's happening in the world with the virus and being locked down and locked in snowy weather, and maybe how we need to go out and find new paths in that. So I brought snow to actually put into the distillation as the water, as what's going to distill this plant. So I'm using everything I can that's around me right now. So I put together a little tray here that I'm actually going to put in the distiller. Hold it up so you can see. So I had pieces of willow that I picked off, and then there was little shards that sort of fell on the floor, and I thought, oh, you know, I need to pick those up. I need to put the broken pieces, the pieces that we would normally just throw out and clean up behind, that those pieces may be actually what we are, and it may be profoundly important to have that in. I've also brought in a piece of pink granite, which is a rock that's local to this area, bringing in the steepness and the wisdom and the grounding of sacred rock and the continuous of the Canadian Shield and how it holds us and actually holds us into the earth and our profound connection right now to the earth and being part of that. I've got a piece of raw moonstone as we're bridging between a new moon in Libra, which was profound, and trying to again find pathways through chaos and balance through chaos, and heading towards a wonderful full moon coming up on October 31st. So it's like the bridge between the moons. And a simple black stone, a smooth stone that I've played with multitudes of times. It's very smooth as a grounding piece and an earthing piece, and the darkness and the wisdom of the earth. The unknown, maybe the cosmos, those pieces that we're unsure of, but we desire to know more of. I've never done this, but I put a bit of money on the thing because I think it's really important that we embody how we exist in this world. And the world that we exist in currently requires us to have finance and be able to support ourselves. So it's nice to dream about these fantasy worlds where we don't need all of this stuff, but the reality is we do. We need to sustain ourselves, and we need to welcome being able to be cared for in a beautiful manner where we feel safe and secure and our environment is pleasing and fulfills what we're looking for. I put in or I am going to put in some seeds from rosehip. This is the stuff that you're seeing in the woods right now. The rose hips are there drying. They'll feed birds and animals through the winter. And it gives us again that seed, that essence of what we want to crawl into. The pinkness is of the heart and of the sacred, the divine feminine, which I think is an important aspect of this as well as the sacred masculine. I think if our path today is to have the feminine and the masculine rise together in unity, and that doesn't mean that any of us bow to each other, but that we work together as a community of oneness. I'm putting in a Lemurian crystal, and this is literally to represent the star seeds, the truly unknown, but and being okay with not knowing, and just accepting that there's something beyond us, something elusive, and I want to have that represented in here. And then a beautiful piece of quartz crystal as the way shower, and taking us on that path. So I'm actually going to put some of this snow actually on this tray so we can literally mix it all together and make it form part of the journey, and instead of being in pieces, that it comes in flow. So I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank you for joining me and for exploring this journey and seeing what Willow is going to bring forward to us, the learnings and the teachings.